This podcast is produced by Student Media. Student Media is a student organization at the University of Evansville. Student Media produces the Crescent magazine, published online and in print 3 times a semester. Student Media produces several podcasts and utilizes design, photography, video, and sound towards experiential and academic learning in journalistic endeavors and engaging storytelling. Student Media elevates the voice of the student body and connects the campus and community to important information and points of view. To learn more, visit crescent.evansville.edu.
What?
China feels
Biden
boxed
administration
in by the
announces an
U.S. but
additional
has few ways to push
$7.4
back.
billion in
Belgium
student loan
probes
cancellations.
Russian interference in
Travel
warnings issued as Israel
DEI
lectures for
programs
possible
face
Iranian
opposition.
strike.
There is a reason. Universities
Pentagon
resort
frustrated by
to
lack of
rebranding.
notice from Myanmar-Thai and Syria as
What?
it falls to anti-junta.
Biden administration
Russian
greenlights
soldiers
broadened
arrive in
background checks
Niger
for gun
as
purchases.
relationship with U.S. deteriorates. What?
What's going on
in the world? Welcome back to another episode of What's Going On in the World. Today is Friday, April 12th. I'm Sarah Siles, and I'm here with
Tommy J. Houseman. We welcome you all to What's Going On in the World, and I think that we're going to hear a story about the Philippines from Sarah. Is that right?
Yes, this past Thursday, the leaders of the Philippines and Japan met with President Biden in the White House, which was the first time that all 3 of these leaders have had a meeting together. The goal of their meeting was about how to contain China and China's aggressiveness towards the Philippines and Japan in the South and East China Seas. They decided that their militaries would work together to strengthen the Navy and Coast Guards in those regions. In the past, the United States has also been reaching out to strengthen ties with other countries, including South Korea and India. On Tuesday, the leader of China and the leader of Russia got together and warned the United States not to form an organization like NATO in Asia. So what's going on back home in the U.S. with student debt?
Well, the Biden administration announced an additional $7.4 billion in student loan cancellations for around 277,000 borrowers. Part of the targeted approach is to alleviate student debt. This strategy aims to compensate for the Supreme Court's rejection of a broader $400 billion debt forgiveness plan last year. With the latest announcement, the total forgiven debt reaches $153 billion, benefiting approximately 4.3 million borrowers, with hopes to assist up to 30 million borrowers overall. The relief targets 3 specific borrower groups, including those enrolled in the administration's income-driven repayment plan and individuals who qualify under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. However, Republican opposition remains strong, with legal challenges and criticism in Congress. The administration proposal faces scrutiny over potential costs and concerns about fairness, with Republicans arguing against incentivizing non-payment and burdening responsible borrowers. The Biden administration's piecemeal approach to student debt relief navigates legal constraints while addressing the growing burden of education costs. Despite challenges from Republicans and concerns about cost, the administration continues to push forward with efforts to alleviate student debt and implement reforms in the education financing system. And just to be clear, student loans are predatory loans. So there's that. So enough about student loans. What is going on in Israel?
So on April 1st, Israel bombed an Iranian embassy in Damascus, which is the capital of Syria, and it ended up killing senior members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Now, Israel is expecting Iran to retaliate and is on high alert. Iran has also been making threats to Israel. Now, many countries are issuing travel warnings and urging their citizens to leave Israel. The U.S. government has said that U.S. employees should not be going outside of Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Beersheba. The Israeli defense minister has stated that this situation has helped them to form closer ties with the U.S., but the U.S. is annoyed that Israel did not inform them of the planned bombing. Now for more news back home.
DEI programs face opposition. There is a reason. Universities resort to rebranding. Some universities are rebranding their diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, programs amid state bans on such initiatives. Renaming departments and altering job titles, institutions like the University of Tennessee and Louisiana State University are now emphasizing access and engagement instead. This shift aims to navigate political opposition while still addressing the need for diversity efforts. especially crucial for attracting a diverse student body and faculty. Amidst declining birth rates and skepticism towards higher education's value, universities face challenges in maintaining diversity initiatives. Critics argue against the cost and perceived left-wing biases of DEI programs, prompting universities to adapt their strategies. However, many administrations believe in the importance of diversity programs for fostering inclusivity and attracting unrepresented groups to campus. While some view the name changes as a necessary adaptation, others see them as mere rebranding that fails to address deeper issues. Despite efforts to maintain the core mission of diversity programs, political pressures and ideological debates continue to shape the landscape of higher education, impacting institutions, approaches to equity and inclusion. And I think that there might be a reason behind the attacks on DEI programs, and according to the latest census projections, emphasize the notable demographic change in the United States, particularly among 18-year-olds in the next 10 years. There will be fewer 18-year-olds, and minorities are expected to outnumber whites in this age group, making a significant shift in the national's racial composition. This trend underscores the importance of understanding and investing in the diverse experiences and needs of young adults as they play a crucial role in shaping our country's future. So, Sarah, enough about colleges today. Is Russia interfering with more elections?
They might be. Less than a month ago, the U.S. ended military agreements with Niger. On March 26th, the president of Russia, Putin, discussed working together on security measures with Niger. Now, Niger's military has been working with Russia, receiving military training and supplies. On Wednesday, a military instructor from Russia arrived in Niger, and his group said he was, quote, to train the Nigerian army using the military materials that arrived here, end quote. It is assumed that Niger is turning to Russia for help because the country has been experiencing a great deal of violence from terrorist groups and wants Russia to help them with security measures. And for more news about Russia, there is suspicion that Russia influenced the parliamentary elections of the European Union last June. Last year, Western countries said that Russia was spreading false information on the internet to influence election results in their favor. Recently, the Czech Republic said that they had discovered pro-Russia actors in Brussels, Belgium, trying to help pro-Russia political figures gain popularity. Poland also said, quote, actions aimed at organizing pro-Russian initiatives and media campaigns in EU countries have been documented, end quote. Belgium has also been conducting surveillance to find Russia trying to promote their agenda. Many countries are skeptical of Russia and thinking that Russia wants to help to put people in office that would favor Russia, which in turn would mean that the EU would not be providing as much aid to Ukraine. So, is there anything new with the Biden administration?
Yes, the Biden administration just greenlighted broadened background checks for gun purchases. The Biden administration has approved a significant expansion of federal background checks on gun sales, targeting a rapidly growing shadow market that contributes to gun violence. This new rule requires anyone selling guns for profit to register a federally licensed firearms dealer and conduct a criminal and mental health background checks on potential buyers. It's expected to add around 23,000 federal dealers to the existing 80,000 regulated by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, despite potential legal challenges. This move comes after President Biden's attempt to enact universal background checks were blocked by Republicans in Congress, leveraging provisions from a bipartisan gun control law passed in 2022. The administration aims to close the gun show loophole. Vice President Kamala Harris emphasized that this regulatory change addresses a significant gap in the federal background check system, aiming to prevent the pain and suffering caused by gun violence, especially among children. Critics, particularly Republicans like Senator John Cornyn, argue that this expansion represents a government overreach, stretching the law's language beyond the original intent. Unlicensed private sellers, often operating at gun shows and online, have exploited legal loopholes to avoid background checks, contributing to illegal gun sales. The new rule aims to bring more sellers under federal regulation and crack down on brokers who knowingly traffic firearms to criminals. though it's expected to face legal battles from gun rights groups like Gun Owners of America. Vice President Kamala Harris highlighted that gun violence is now the leading cause of death among children, indicating the urgency of such measures by closing loopholes that allow firearms to be obtained without proper background checks. The aim is to prevent tragedies like school shootings and other instances where children are victims of gun violence. So, what's going on in Myanmar, Sarah?
So, in 2021, a junta took over Myanmar's government and has been ruling the country since. Many opposition groups have been gaining popularity since the government takeover, and widespread violence has been increasing. The Karen National Union, a rebel group in Myanmar, attacked and gained control of a city. This morning, the junta lost even more territory against rebel groups. Now many people are fleeing the country and trying to cross the border into Thailand. However, Thailand has said that they will only accept 100,000 people and they want to remain neutral.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What's Going On in the World. Again, this is Friday, April 12th, and we are glad to have you here. We hope to see you again next week for our last episode of the semester. My name is Tommy J. Hausman, and I'm here with our host,
Sarah Siles.
And we want to say a great and fond goodbye. Goodbye. What?
China feels boxed in by the U.S. but has few ways to push back. Belgium probes Russian interference in travel warnings issued as Israel prepares for possible Iranian strike.
There is a reason.
Pentagon frustrated by lack notice from Myanmar-Thai and Syria as it falls to anti-junta. Russian soldiers arrive in Niger as relationship with U.S. deteriorates. What? What's going on in the world?